Hi. I first met John in 2004, although I already knew of him because of his earlier career as an international sportsman. I was so excited to meet somebody who had played sport at the highest level and continued to play sport at a high level that of course I just had to tell him straight away about my discovery about timing. His interest in my golf secret was polite, but given his background, understandably circumspect. And so it wasn't until late 2010 that he finally rang me up and asked for a putting lesson. We met one late November afternoon. It was cold, wet and dark, and so the lesson took place sat in the front of his car. I began by asking him to tell me about a shot he could remember from his previous career. I wanted a shot that had been played under pressure, that had been successful, and that, as he remembered it, was perfect. After he had found his shot, which was a kick at goal, I recreated the situation he was facing as he went to kick the ball. I said, the ball is in position A. It's motionless. To be successful, it needs to get to desired position B, the tides. To move from its stationary position A to the tides, B, a force needs to be applied, i.e. you have to kick it. The force we're talking about is the speed your boot is travelling at when it collides with the ball. Or, more accurately, the speed your boot is travelling at when the ball loses contact with your boot at the end of the collision. It doesn't take long before you realise that there is no way you can tell what speed your boot is travelling at when it collides with the ball, even though that is precisely the force that enables you to kick with such accuracy. Not only that, but imagine how difficult it is to work out how hard to kick the ball in the first place, given all the factors that you have to take into account. There's the distance and the angle, the state of the ball, the state of the field, the state of the game, there's the weather. Then there's you as a player. How tired are you? What pressure are you under? It's nothing short of a minor miracle, actually, that humans are able to apply such accurate forces under such difficult conditions. I continued, every player of every sport that involves hitting or throwing is, at a fundamental level, trying to answer the same simple question. How hard do I need to hit this? Or, more accurately again, what force do I need to apply? Force, because a force has oomph plus direction. Your kick at goal is in fact a version of the question you face when you line up to take a putt. What force do I need to apply? Timing is the ability, the natural ability we all have that answers that question for us, which is why it is the physical link between all hitting and throwing sports. I've solved timing, I said to him. It's in my book. And you read that book 6 years ago. I pointed out to John that his success at playing games was because he could locate his timing under all sorts of conditions. And so if he was having a problem with his putting, it could only be because he was somehow interfering with his natural ability to apply an accurate force. To finish the lesson, I asked him to reread the book and to think about ways that he might be interfering with his natural ability. A couple of months later, he rang up to pass the time of day, and at the end of the conversation, he let slip that his putting had actually improved enormously. So, by the end of that afternoon, I had gathered up my courage and I emailed him to ask if he would like to develop some sort of player-coach relationship. He agreed. Neither of us had any idea how it would pan out or that it would end up on email. How he's getting on and what impact my coaching is having on him, you can judge for yourself by reading the correspondence that's listed in the sidebar. I decided to put this website together when, on rereading the correspondence myself, I realised that I was constantly highlighting how and where John was getting in his own way as a player, how and where he was interfering with his natural ability to locate his timing. It occurred to me that if it was benefiting a player as good as John, then actually it could be of benefit to all of us. I hope you enjoy reading this somewhat unusual correspondence, and I hope you have fun identifying with the very real frustrations expressed by John as he attempts to coax a little white ball around a manicured piece of prime real estate, armed only with a few lumps of finely honed steel. Thank you for listening.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't